And so nothing is easy. It sucks, but you have a choice to make. Do you want to sit down and go back to that guy you once were?
If you want to give up, you can give up. This is your choice.
Life is hard.
Everything worth doing is hard.
This is a hard journey. What you're doing is hard.
But sometimes you have to go beyond what you're feeling.
The harder that you try, the easier it gets.
Every day that you don't do work, you're going backwards.
Go after your dreams.
If you can just learn to love what trying hard feels like, then all of a sudden it becomes unreasonable that you can't win.
If you want to get somewhere specific, then you better take control of the wheel. And you better drive that car where you want it to go. Grab the steering wheel and drive your life where you want it to be. Do not just let things happen. You have to be default aggressive and make things happen.
You're going to have to make investments that other people your age and your position are not going to be making. And they're going to judge you, and they're going to make fun of you, and they're going to laugh at you. And you're going to have to keep going, because if you don't, you'll never realize that version of yourself.
The greater the payoff, the greater the hardship.
It takes more effort to start in the beginning, and more people are right about the fact they're like, hey, you're not going to hit it big. And guess what? A month in, you're not.
If it's hard, good. It means no one else will do it. More for you.
Nobody is motivated at 4 in the morning. Nobody. But some people are up anyway. You're praying for an easy way out. I don't fucking want one. Because if there is an easy way out, yeah, I'll win. But other people will win who I don't think deserve to win. Luckily, in my experience on this earth, the universe has never, I've ever seen, ever given an easy way out to anybody. So I don't believe it's fucking coming. I don't want there to be ladders. You're praying for a ladder. I don't want them. I don't want easy wins. I want to have to wake up every day and grind out and become richer than everyone else because I work harder than everyone else and I try harder than everyone else. I don't want any easy ways out. The idea of that aggravates me. I don't want to feel motivated. I want to feel tired and stressed. I want to run on pure discipline and adrenaline.
So this is what it takes. It takes that misunderstanding of people, and they'll never get it because they were never David Goggins. So that is what it takes for me to do what I do. It may take you something differently. So for me, everything has to be in the studying. Everything has to be into this. Everything has to be in everywhere I am. It has to be there. Me, focused where I am.
You can do whatever you want. Your time's gonna come, but you cannot give up. A lot of people ask me, you proud of something? I'm very proud of. I never give up.
So no matter how hard whatever it is that you're doing is, which by the way just means that your expectation doesn't match reality, but no matter how hard it is, you either quit, it gets easier because something changes externally, or you get harder, something changes internally. But no matter what, it will end.
If people could really stop, if you would really stop, all of you right now, stop and think about where your life would be if you followed through, if you had the ability to follow through on every single thing you ever told yourself you were going to do. If you had done that, where would you be? And when you really are honest with that, your life would be completely different. And when we talk about confidence and not having any, the reason we don't have any confidence is because we're lying to ourselves more than anybody.
The rewards you get in terms of self-esteem and self-story, what you think of yourself, will be correlated to the size of the commitment you keep when no one is watching. So if you say to yourself, I'm going to do this, when no one is watching, we don't think it's important to keep those commitments. We think lying to ourselves is, there's no punishment for that.
What do you want in your life? Shut the fuck up, go in a room, stop talking, search your soul, search your mind, search your abilities, and you'll find it.
You are going to get exactly the life that you deserve. Now you could tell yourself all these stories, and you could tell yourself all these excuses, and you could point the finger of blame, and you could say circumstances are different, and you could say all of these things, but at the end of the day, you're gonna get exactly what you deserve.
Which would be worse? To live as a monster, or to die as a good man?
Ignore and outperform them. You see, while you're over there watching me and talking about me, I'm working hard. I'm taking things to the next level. You keep gossiping and I'll keep working. You keep talking smack and I'll keep working. You keep focusing on everything and everyone else and I'll keep working. And when you finally look around at where you are and where I'm at, you'll realize that you have nothing left to talk smack about. And you will lose and I will win.
There are basically two kinds of people in life. They're winners and they're losers. And the definition is this: losers take things that happen to them and that they feel inside that suck, and they wallow and they use it for self or outward destruction. Winners take whatever they feel it, it sucks, and they transmute it into things that are good for themselves and for the world.
If you think about the difference between winners and losers, winners define themselves by what they made happen, and losers define themselves by what happened to them. And the difficult part of the lonely chapter is that the Rocky cutscene lasts 90 seconds in the movie and lasts 5 years in reality.
With no promise of it ever ending. No guarantee of glory.
Success is very, very, very simple. It's very simple, okay? It is the matter of winning one day, and then the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day. It is one win at a time, one day at a time, 1 week at a time, 1 month at a time, and you accumulate that over the course of a year. You know, good things start to happen. And so if you win enough days, you win the week. If you win enough weeks, you win the month. If you win enough months, you win the year. If you win enough years, guess what you win? You win your life.
Everybody knows you got to pay a price for winning, but most people aren't willing to pay it. They may pay it once, but literally you got to pay it every single day. And the crazy part about that is the price changes daily. Just like the stock market goes up and down, the price of winning changes on a daily basis. And you got to be willing to pay that price, whatever it is on that day.
When you're winning, you're not as good as you think you are. When you're losing, you're not as bad as you think you are.
When you're winning, everybody's telling you how amazing you are. Oh my God, let me tell you, dude, you know what? You're the best. You're amazing. You know, you're just better than that guy, and you're better than this guy. And then when you're losing, everybody tells you, I told you shouldn't have done that. I knew you weren't going to make it. Yeah, I told you it wasn't for you. You weren't that guy, and you believe that as well.
Why do we fall, sir? So that we can learn and pick ourselves up.
Life is this. I like this.
You got to get through it. You got to get through bad feelings. You got to get through failure. It's very important. And you get through it by just picking yourself back up and moving forward and going.
What you learn to do is, okay, I'm going to go forward. I can't get out of this. I'm going to go forward. I'm not going to quit. So I'm going to go forward. Bring it on. And I think if there's anything that you learn, it's to keep pushing through things that suck. And I would love to say like, keep pushing through adversity, but this isn't adversity. This is just things that suck. It's one level below adversity. Adversity is when you're having a challenge. This is just something that's gonna suck.
It just fucking sucks. And that's the one thing, if I could teach anybody, it just fucking sucks.
Figure out what you fucking puts you on fire and you're halfway decent at. If you're lucky enough right now to be listening and you're good at what you like, become tunnel fucking vision. Because there's way too many voices telling you what and how. Have the conversation with the person that's holding you back.
We're not afraid of failure. We're afraid of what other people will think of us if we fail.
Haters highlight your weaknesses. And if you're smart, you're like, he makes a good point. I do have bad calves. I better start working on my calves. Thank you for that feedback. Now I kick your ass because you pointed out my weakness. What a great consultant. We don't need a consulting firm. We just need to hire new haters.
Moving forward, set higher standards in your fitness, in your ability to orate, to speak, in your ability to communicate, in your ability to be decisive, in your ability to be a better husband, an ability to be a better father, better friend, better entrepreneur, better leader. Enough with setting low standards and hitting those standards and being proud of yourself. Like, fuck, man, let's get to it.
You're always afraid to take the first step because all you see is every negative thing 10 miles down the road. But you can do anything you want. You are bound by nothing.
First thing is you need to believe and know that you're one decision, one relationship, one meeting, one book, one thought, one something away from a completely different life. And when you know that, then you begin to look for them.
You're one decision away from changing. You are one decision away from changing. It's a decision away. You're one decision away from changing your life.
The heaviest things in life aren't iron and gold, but unmade decisions. The reason you are stressed is that you have decisions to make and you're not making them.
When you do anything, it adds up. When you do nothing, it amounts to zero. So take the small steps every day. Do what you're supposed to do and don't expect some incredible results in 1 day or 2 days or 10 days. Worthwhile things take 100 days. They take 500 days. Maybe they take 5,000 days. They take time, but it's little steps that add up.
Tiny little things repeated over time is what produces dramatic change. And it's like this curve, it's like this very slow curve until it asymptotes up. And when you drill that down into the tiniest little things that you're doing every single day and try to repeat that with just rigorous, relentless consistency, that is how you move mountains. That's how you build mountains. That's how you change your life.
But it's hard for a lot of people because that sting, they never get over it, the feeling of failure. And they don't have a good support system, like good friends. Like having a good community of friends is very, very important, because you could feel like if you've been a girl broke up with you and you feel like you're the worst, you're a fucking loser, like you're a piece of shit. But then you go out with your friends and you have a few laughs, and next thing you know, you're laughing and you're like, I'm all right. We'll be all right.
You have to look straight ahead and not look over here at your worries and your fears. If you start to stare at these fears, you move towards them. You got to stay focused on where you're going, not the wall.
You're much better than you think you are, and you need to remember that most of the doubt and most of the things that you struggle with were installed in you by people around you who have already given up on what their life could have been, and they want you to do so as well because it makes them feel more comfortable about their mediocre existence.
Don't be ashamed of your effort. Midwits hate earnestness and sincere conviction because they can't stand being reminded of the thing they're capable of but resist actually trying.
And so many people never achieve their goals because they have too many toxic, negative, energy-draining people in their lives. And you have to have goals outside of your comfort zone that will challenge you, because in order to do something you've never done, you've got to become someone you've never been.
You've got to stay focused on where you're going, on the race ahead, not the wall of your life. There's going to be a wall the entire time, and that wall is trying to get you to look at it so that you'll subconsciously begin to move off your game, move off your vision, move off your dream, and into the wall and crash.
People will try to put the same limitations on you that they put on themselves. Don't mistake their insecurities for your ceiling.
And every day that you haven't hit it, they're going to feel like they were right, but they're wrong, because they're measuring in days and you're measuring in decades.
Being willing to fail, being willing to lose will create such a competitive advantage for you, because most people can't do it. Most people can't be seen falling on their face. Most people are unwilling to try new things because they overanalyze and they think, well, what if I do this and this happens? Well, my counter to that would be, well, what if you don't do it? You're gonna stay the fucking same. So our options are to stay the same or to actually be willing to fail.
I know of no better life purpose than to perish in attempting the great and impossible. The fact that something seems impossible shouldn't be a reason to not pursue it. That's exactly what makes it worth pursuing. Where would the courage and greatness be if success was certain and there was no risk? The only true failure is shrinking away from life's challenges.
We all have mental scars, physical scars. Our scars remind us that the past is so very fucking real. The scars are real, but you can still be a bad motherfucker. You can still be a very, very dangerous motherfucker.
You have two paths in front of you right now. One of them is going to be the harder one today. It's going to be downright painful. You will have to force your brain to think in new ways. You might lose some friends who want to hold on to their weak beliefs. But as you pull yourself away from that anger and that hate, eventually you will start to feel empowered.
You know, when you're built different than everybody else and you have this desire for more and this desire for achievement and this desire to win, everybody else looks at you like you're fucked up. And they'll tell you that too. You know, what the is wrong with you? Like, why can't you just relax? Why can't you just do this? Because I'm just not built that way, man. And as I've gotten a little bit older, I've gotten better at accepting it and just sort of embracing the fact that this provides a lot of good, but there's a lot of things that you have to deal with that come that aren't so good.
The process it takes to be number one and stay at number one, you have no idea. Everybody wants to sit in your seat until they have to sit in your seat. Very few people understand. Everybody thinks the more you win, the more successful you are. It just makes everything so much easier. And they don't understand the pressures that these individuals put on themselves to continue to perform at the highest level.
So people that aren't going to see your vision, people didn't see Jeff Bezos' vision, people don't see Elon Musk, people don't see Kobe and Jordan's vision, and that's okay, but you've got to be willing to see it in yourself. If you're not the best athlete, but you have the mentality of a winner, and you're willing to go harder and overcome adversity and self-doubt, you can win.
The harder it is for you to break free of whatever kind of mental prison you've made for yourself, whether that's real or just in your head, the more compelling your story will be when you break through it.
If you can list the fucked up things that have happened in your life and you can put that on a list, and you somehow made it past all of this to be in a position where you can still go make some stuff happen, that's what you have in common with every hero of every story, of every autobiography, of every...
Wow.
Is how much happened to you that should have broke you, that did not break you, so that you were able to then...
To be open to learning does mean, at least to some degree, always asking, well, what am I doing wrong? What do I have to give up? What do I have to let go of? What do I have to transform? That can be very painful.
Is your life purpose-driven? What is purpose? Goal orientation, right? Do you have somewhere that you're headed? Most people find themselves in a place of distress because they find themselves in a place of limbo. They don't know where they're going. If they just had something, even that's why people find so much confidence and so much, mental stability in the gym, because it's something that they can look forward to, that they know it exists, that they can accomplish. But it's a great stepping stool. It's a great beginning point. But you have to have that purpose, that goal setting, in order to be able to navigate life. Purpose is extremely important because it gives you aim, it gives you direction.
If you're in a spot and you don't know what to do, start moving in some direction, and that'll give you some clues or some indication or some immediate feedback about where you are, and you can start assembling a better picture of what's happening.